Good morning, all of you. So, this is Eknath Aire from Divine College of Pharmacy, Satana, Assistant Professor from Department of Pharmaceutics. Students, in last session, we already started with Pharmacy Act 1948. So, in this lecture, we will discuss the remaining topic. Okay. So, this is the quote for the day. A a negative mind will never give you a positive life. So always think positive and get your life with a full of positiveness. So let's start with the session. So we'll see the remaining part of PCI or the Pharmacy Council of India. So we will discuss regarding the staff and their remuneration and other allowances. So the Central Pharmacy Council shall appoint a registrar who shall act as a secretary of that uh, particular council and who may also act as the treasurer. Second one is uh, the Central Pharmacy Council shall appoint such other officers and the servants as that council deems necessary to enables it to carry out its function under this act. Next is with the previous sanction of the central government shall fix the remuneration and allowances to be paid to the president, vice president, and other members of that council, and the pay and allowances and other conditions of service of officers and servants of the particular council. Next part is what are the functions of the Pharmacy Council of India? So these are the functions. First one is to prescribe minimum standard of education required for the qualification as a pharmacist. Second function is to regulate the minimum educational standard within India. Next one is to recognize qualifications granted outside the territories to which Pharmacy Act 1948 extends for the purpose of qualifying for registration under the said act. Next one, to compile and to maintain a central register. And last one, all other functions that may be assigned for implementation of the act. That function should be implemented and regulated by the Pharmacy Council of India. So next part is education regulations by Pharmacy Council of India in overall the country. The subject to the provision of Section 10 of the Pharmacy Act 1948, the Central Council, after approval of the central government, make, may make regulations prescribing the minimum standards of education required for qualification as a pharmacist called education regulations. So all type of pharmacy related or the profession related educational regulations are maintained and regulated by Pharmacy Council of India. Here are the some education regulations prescribed by Pharmacy Council of India under the Pharmacy Act 1948. So first one is minimum qualification for admission to the course is prescribed by Pharmacy Council of India. Then nature and the period of course of study, or we can say the syllabus of study, the nature and the period of practical training to be undertaken after completion of the course. Next is subject of examinations and their standards, the equipments and facilities to be appointed by the institution to the students. Next one is conditions to be fulfilled by institution giving practical training. And last one is the conditions to be fulfilled by the authorities holding approved examinations. So this all type of regulations should be maintained by that particular institution. Then next part is approval of institutions or authorities providing courses of study and examination. So who whomsoever whomsoever wants to start any new institution related to the pharmacy, and that institution or that particular institution will be inspected by the PCI committee, and after inspection, if all the prescribed rules and regulations are followed by the that particular institution, then and then the PCI will approve that particular institute as a educational institute for the pharmacy profession. So in that, first one, application by institution authority to the central council. So anybody want to take or want to start the pharmacy education or the profession, or we can say education, so that particular institution have to apply for the PCI committee regarding the starting of new course of pharmacy. Then inspection will be done over there. If this particular institution will follow or will satisfy that particular prescribed rules and regulations, then and then approval will get that particular institution. Then some type of declarations are also there, and that uh, declarations should be followed by that particular institutions. If anything is happens over there, anybody institute or any institute will not able to follow the rules and regulations of PCI, then PCI have the right to withdraw the approval of the particular institute. Then next is approval of qualification granted outside India. So in that case, the qualification in pharmacy granted outside India can be recognized by the PCI. This is applicable to Indian citizens only. The citizens of foreign nationality can be eligible for registration when an Indian national holding the same qualification is allowed to enter and practice in the country. Then next part is central register, which is maintained by the Pharmacy Council of India or the different state pharmacy councils. Under the provision of Pharmacy Act 1976, the PCI of India is required to maintain a central register. Each state government has to supply 5 copies of the register for a state to the central council after the first day of April every year. The register has to be maintained by the registrar of that particular pharmacy council, has to be revised suitably from time to time, and uh, they have to uh, publish it in the Gazette of India. So this is the regarding uh, maintenance and the regulation of the central register. Then next part is state pharmacy council. So what is the state pharmacy council, and what are the or which are the members related to state pharmacy council? Let's see. So pharmacy council or state pharmacy council is generally designed for a particular state or regulate the education in a particular state. So each state having the particular or the having the state pharmacy council, or in case of small state, they having the joint state pharmacy council also over there. So state pharmacy council is constituted with three type of members, which are elected members. nominated members and ex officio members. So elected member contains 6 members by registered pharmacist of the state. Among them, one member elected by the members of MCI or the Medical Council of India. Next, uh, members are nominated members, and it contains 5 members nominated by the state government from the persons who hold degree or diploma in pharmacy. And last one parameter, last one members are ex officio members. So who are they? Chief Administrative Medical Officer of the state, who is the ex officio member on the State Pharmacy Council. Then officer in charge of drug control organization of the state is one of the ex officio member of the State Pharmacy Council. Then last one is government analyst from the state. So this was regarding the State Pharmacy Council. If Joint State Pharmacy Council is there, then what are the changes over there? Let's see. So 2 or more states enters into a agreement to form a Joint State Pharmacy Council. In that case, elected members are there, nominated members are there, and ex officio member also there. So elected members contains registered pharmacists 3 to 5 from each state which having or which participated in the Joint State Pharmacy Council. Then medical council, one from each participant state or the member from the Medical Council of India or State Medical Council. Then next members are nominated members. So 2 to 4 members nominated by each state government from the persons who hold degree or diploma in pharmacy. Next members are ex officio members. It contains chief administrative medical officer of each participating state. Next one is officer in charge of drug control organization of each participating state. And last one member is government analyst of each participating state. So all this member contains that Joint State Pharmacy Council over there. Then next parameter is real the State Pharmacy Council related election and term of the office. So the president and vice presidents are elected by the members from amongst themselves, which are the members appointed over the State Pharmacy Council, and they may hold their position for the period of 5 years over there. Then casual vacancies is filled by nomination or re-election. Election. Uh, then the members are eligible for, or all members are eligible for re-elections also over there. Then last part is the possess and executive committee similar to the central council only. Okay, so executive uh, committee members are same as per the central council or the PCI. Then next part is inspection. The State Pharmacy Council may appoint inspectors having the qualification as per the act, and they having the power to inspect any premises where drugs are compounded and dispensed. Second power of the inspectors is inquire whether the person engaged in the dispensing is a registered pharmacist or not. Then institute prosecution under the order of the executive committee of the State Pharmacy Council, and other essential powers related to the act and rule. Then next part is registration of pharmacist. So preparation and maintenance of the register should be taken by State Pharmacy Council or particular State Pharmacy Council over there. The register shall include the following particulars, namely, so that register having the following details regarding the that particular registered pharmacist. So it contains the full name and the residential address of the registered pharmacist or the person. The date of his first admission to the register is over there. Then his qualification for the registration is over there. Then his professional address, and if he is employed by any person, the name of such persons is over there. Next one is such a further particulars as may be prescribed over there. Then next parameter or next topic is qualifications for entry on first register. So what type of qualification is required for the register as a pharmacist over there? So a person who has attained the age of 18 years shall be entitled on payment of the prescribed fee to have his name entered in the first register if he resides or carries on the business or profession of pharmacy in the state. But he must holds a degree or diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry or a chemist and druggist diploma of an Indian university or a state government, or a prescribed qualification granted by an authority outside India, or holds a degree of an Indian university other than a degree in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry, and has been engaged in the compounding of drugs in a hospital or the dispensary or other place in which drugs are regularly dispensed on prescriptions of the medical practitioners for a total period of not less than 3 years. So this all type of qualification should required to register self as a registered pharmacist. Or as per clause C, has passed an examination recognized as adequate by the state government for uh, for the commoners or the dispensers, or as per the clause D, has been engaged in the compounding of the drugs in a hospital or the dispensary or other place in which drugs are regularly dispensed on prescriptions of medical practitioners for a total period of not less than 5 years prior to the date notified under the uh, subsection 2 of section 30 or the from section 30. Next, next topic is special provisions for registration of certain persons. If some cases are there which are not follows under that uh, previously prescribed rules, then in that case some other special provisions are there. So not with, withstanding anything constituted in section 32, a state pharmacy council may also permit to be entered on the register. In that clause A says the names of displaced person who have been carrying out on the business or the profession of pharmacy as their principal means of livelihood from a date prior to the 4th of day of March 1948, and who satisfy the conditions for registration as set out in section 31. So clause B says that the names of citizens of India who have been carrying on the business or the profession of pharmacy in any country outside India and who satisfy the conditions for the registration as set out in section 31. So any displaced person, if follows that particular rule, then it is eligible for register in India as a registered pharmacist. So clause C says that the names of the persons who resided in an area which has subsequently becomes a territory of India and who satisfy the condition for registration as set out in section 31. So all type of that special provisions are there for registering as a pharmacist in India. Then, what type of qualification is required there for entry into the register? So, he or she shall hold a diploma in pharmacy or pharmaceutical chemistry, or he hold a degree in an Indian university other than pharmacy and has been engaged in the compounding of drugs in a hospital or the dispensary for a total period of not less than 3 years and has passed an examination recognized as adequate by the state government for commoners or dispensers. So this type of qualification is required to register self as a registered pharmacist. So entry and removal of names in certain cases. So in case of entry, all applicants for the registration should be addressed to the registrar of State Pharmacy Council. If the applicant has the requisite qualifications for the registration, he shall direct his or her name to be entered in the register. Upon entry, a certificate of registration is issued by the State Pharmacy Council. In case of removal, registration by error, which is removed by State Pharmacy Council, then if he has been convicted of any offense in any professional aspects, so in that case also their registration will be removed. 30 days period for appealing regarding any type of conviction. Next one is surrender of the certificate of registration and the publication in the official gazette. In that case also we can remove the registration. Next is printing of the register. If it is done on the first day of the April subsequent to the commencement of the Pharmacy Amendment Act 1959, which is 24th of 1959. Thereafter, each year after the 1st of April, a register will be arranged for reprinting showing the supplements of the register. These supplements and the registers are deemed to be proof that the persons whose names are contained therein are registered as pharmacists. And here is the some renewal fees regarding the registration in State Pharmacy Council of India. The state government, by the notification in the official gazette, direct that for the retention of the name in the register, in order to retain the name in the register, a renewal fee shall be paid to the state government as may be prescribed. Where a renewal fees is not paid by the due date, the registrar shall uh, remove the name of the defaulter from the register. On payment of the renewal fee, the registrar shall be issue a receipt, and such uh, receipt shall be proof of renewal of registration. So we can renew our registration after specific expiry date. So here are the some offenses and related penalties if someone going to uh, going to disobey the rule or the act, Pharmacy Act 1948. In this, in that case, if anybody offenses they falsely claim to be a registered pharmacist, in that case, on the first conviction, he will get fine up to 500 rupees, and after on the subsequent conviction, he will get the fine up to 1000 rupees and or 6 months of imprisonment also may be there. And is in case of the dispensing by an unregistered person, in that case that person may get 6 months of imprisonment or a fine up to 1000 or both. And in case of the failure to surrender the certificate of the registration, in that case fine of rupees 50 may be there. Next is obstruction of the State Pharmacy Council inspectors. In that case, that person may get infringement up to 6 months or a fine up to 1000 or both. So this is offenses and related penalties on the uh, particular disobey of the law. So this is the overall regarding the Pharmacy Act 1940. So I declare here the chapter is ended over here, Pharmacy Act 1948. So uh, do the needful regarding your studies, and if you having any doubt, then you can comment in the comment box. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you.